67%. That's how many full-time working Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. Not unemployed people, not people who quit, people with jobs, going to work every single day, and still running out of money before the month ends. And here's what really hit me. Millennials and Gen Z, even worse. 63% of millennials and 67% of Gen Z are in the exact same situation. People in their 20s and 30s, the ones who should be building wealth right now. So I started digging. Why is this happening in the richest country on earth? And what I found wasn't what I expected, because the real answer isn't about income. It isn't about laziness. It isn't about avocado toast. It's about 3 specific traps that most people fall into without even knowing they exist. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you're going to see your money situation completely differently. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Capital Principles. If you're new here, this is the channel where we break down budgeting, investing, and credit. No fluff, no nonsense, just real strategies that actually work. And if you've been here before, you already know what we're about. Let's get into it, because today's topic, this one is going to hit different. We're talking about why 80% of Americans are broke. And I promise you, the answer is not what you think. So if you're ready, let's go. Reason 1, the debt trap nobody talks about. Here's something that'll make your stomach drop. As of the end of 2025, Americans collectively owe $1.277 trillion on credit cards. That is the highest number ever recorded since the Federal Reserve started tracking this data back in 1999. Think about that for a second. $1.277 trillion in credit card debt alone. Not mortgages, not student loans, just credit cards. And the average American, they're personally carrying $6,523 on their cards at an interest rate of nearly 21%. Now here's where it gets really ugly. And I want you to pay close attention to this part. Say you've got $2,000 on a credit card at 22% interest. You make the minimum payment about $40 a month. That feels manageable, right? You're paying something. Here's the truth. Of that $40, $36 goes straight to interest. Only $4 actually reduces your balance. $4 on a $2,000 debt. And people wonder why they can never seem to get ahead. But wait, it gets worse. 29% of Americans right now have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Nearly 1 in 3 people, which means 1 unexpected expense, 1 car repair, 1 hospital visit, and they're forced to put it right back on the card. That's not bad luck. That's a trap. And credit card companies designed it that way. Reason 2, inflation is winning, your paycheck is losing. Okay, so now let's talk about the other side of this equation, your income. A lot of people think, I just need to earn more money and everything will be fine. And yeah, more money helps. But here's the problem nobody's putting on the news. In 2025, inflation grew at 3% per year. And for lower income workers, their wages grew by just 1%. Read that again slowly. Your bills went up by $300. Your paycheck went up by $100. That is not breaking even. That is going backwards every single month mathematically. And this isn't a new problem. Since August 2020, so just 5 years, consumer prices are up 24.6% total. Everything you buy, groceries, gas, rent, utilities, insurance, a quarter more expensive than it was in 2020. Economists call this the K-shaped economy. The top earners, their wages are keeping up. They're fine. But everyone else, that gap between what they earn and what they spend is getting wider every single year. Think about what that means in real life. You get a raise, and it feels good for about a week. Then you realize your grocery bill is higher, your rent went up, your car insurance jumped, and you're somehow more stressed about money than you were before the raise. That's not in your head. That's math. Reason 3, the system never taught you the rules. I want to be completely straight with you about something. The real reason most Americans are broke, deeper than the debt, deeper than inflation, is this. Nobody ever taught them how money actually works. Think back to school, 12 years of your life. You learned algebra. You learned the causes of World War I. You wrote 5-paragraph essays about books you barely read. Did anyone teach you how compound interest works? How to build a credit score from zero? What a Roth IRA is? and why starting at 22 instead of 32 can mean a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars. For most people, the answer is no, not once. And so, we enter adulthood completely unprepared. We get our first credit card and don't understand how the interest works. We skip investing because nobody showed us how to start. We avoid budgeting because every system we try feels impossible to stick to. Here's a stat that says everything. Ramsey Solutions surveyed Americans at the end of 2025 and found that only 45% were confident they could handle a $1,000 emergency. Only 45%. That means the majority of Americans right now are one unexpected bill away from a financial crisis. That is not a personal failure. That is what happens when an entire generation grows up without financial education. So what do you actually do? Okay, you now understand the 3 traps. Let's talk about what you can actually do, starting today. 3 steps, in this exact order. Step number 1, stop the bleeding first. Before you invest a single dollar, before you think about building wealth, you need to know exactly where your money is going. Not guessing, knowing. Open your bank statement right now. Look at the last 30 days. I promise you, there is at least one subscription, one recurring charge, one habit quietly draining your account that you forgot existed. Find it. Cancel it. That's your starting point. Step number 2. Attack high-interest debt aggressively. If you're carrying credit card debt at 21% interest, paying that off is the equivalent of earning a guaranteed 21% return on your money. No stock, no index fund, no investment reliably gives you 21%. Paying off that debt is your best investment right now. Step number 3, build a $1,000 emergency buffer. Fast, not 3 months of expenses, not $10,000, just $1,000 first. This single buffer is what breaks the cycle, because right now, every time life happens, a car repair, a medical bill, it goes on a credit card. That $1,000 stops that loop. These 3 steps won't make you rich overnight, but they will stop the downward spiral, and that's where real financial progress actually begins. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. 67% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck isn't a coincidence. $1.27 trillion in credit card debt isn't bad luck. Wages losing to inflation year after year isn't an accident. It's the result of a system that profits when you stay financially confused. And the first step to beating that system is understanding how it works. That's exactly what we do here at Capital Principles. Every week, budgeting, investing, credit, all of it explained clearly, with no fluff and no agenda. If this video gave you even one thing you didn't know before, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. New video drops every day. And drop a comment below. I want to know, which one of these 3 traps hit closest to home for you? Let me know down there. I'll see you in the next one.